Hey everyone, I kind of love what the default n8n node offers, but I needed it to be a bit more tailored and flexible. So what I did is last weekend I actually built my own community node using the Vercel AI SDK, and now it handles exactly the tasks I want it to be. And in this video I want to show you why I picked the Vercel AI SDK to build upon, how my community node fixed some of the issues, and finally how you can use it yourself if you like the features to build with it. So let's get started. I picked the Vercel AI SDK mainly because it's created by Vercel, a popular company for a full stack framework. So I know it's going to be maintained, and also if we check out this Rising Stars JS website, basically the idea is it's a website that measures how many stars each JavaScript framework gained over the years. We can see actually for AI, Vercel is on the 5th spot in popularity, so showing the Vercel AI SDK is quite popular. Also pretty cool to see here n8n gaining 17,000. But yeah, that's the idea why the Vercel AI SDK is a solid choice to build upon. And now I want to dive a bit deeper. What is actually the Vercel AI SDK? As you can see here, it's a TypeScript toolkit designed to develop AI, build applications using Node as well, which is what n8n runs on. And I think why to use it, it's really the unified API for generating text and structured objects. And they have a UI thing, which for n8n doesn't probably make any sense for now, but still cool to use. And I really like the way they designed the API. So mainly we have a generating text function and a generating structured data. So they always think about structured and unstructured outputs. And if we dive down deep into the providers, for example, Google, you can actually see that they build deeply because every provider is a bit different, right? Google might have some capabilities that others don't have, and then OpenAI might have some different ones. But for example, for Google and Gemini, one of the first nodes I built, you can see they support file inputs, cache content, search grounding, and many more. And here they also really nicely list the different model capabilities. So object input, generation, and tool usage, streaming, that's more for agent workloads. But then they also have, for example, for DeepSeek, right, with R1, which is quite popular right now, they also support that. DeepSeek itself doesn't do that much around object generation yet, or image input, but you have the basic stream text and stuff. So that is another node I built because R1 is quite popular right now. Maybe some people struggle to get started with it. And yeah, these are the two nodes: Google Generative AI for its very cool features, and DeepSeek. So yeah, next let's check out the nodes, the UI, and how I build it. Let's recap how the basic LLM chain works. First of all, right, you always have to add a specific model. With that model, you have to add some API credentials. And then once you're in here, you can either decide to have a specific output to get structured output. Then again, you need to click out and add the output parser here. Or also maybe a bit hidden, if you need to add a specific system prompt message, you can do it down here. And if you want to have a series events of messages, you can keep on adding prompts. I personally didn't like some of these UI choices, how they were made. So the way I implemented it, I feel it's a lot easier. Instead of having different models for the basic LLM node and attaching them, for me it didn't really make sense, because how would it even make sense to have two models at the same time? Here I just built one node for one provider. So we have Google Generative AI. You can click on here, easily fill in your API key, and you're good to go. Then next, I decided, the Vercel AI SDK, either you want to generate text or you want to generate an object. If you want to generate an object, then down below you'll simply have here the schema description, schema name, and everything to get an object easily out. Next, let's switch this back to text. I also found the system message to be such an important, substantial part of everyday LLM work that I feel it shouldn't be hidden away from the user. The user should always be aware what the current system message is, and because it's so important to ground the model, I always decided to build this simple prompt input type that just gives you the system message exposed right away, and you can fill in the prompt or the user message. But obviously sometimes so this is really for people who have simple, easy use cases, which I do have a lot. But then also sometimes you need to make it a bit more complex, right? So that's why I started to create this input type of messages, which is a bit similar to the one that the basic LLM chain has. But it has one really particular useful feature, which is messages as JSON. And what the cool thing is, this really allows you to programmatically inject a series of previous conversations that kind of like simulate how the flow of messaging with an LM work, which is great for conversational chat histories, or to kind of like ground the LM model even further. And next up, I want to show you really specific Gemini features, so let's get started. I want to show you the first cool demo. So using the basic LLM chain, I prepared this example, what is happening in Berlin today. And because, you know, the basic LM chain doesn't have any access to outside data, we would need to attach actually like a SERP tool for it to get up-to-date information. It says my knowledge cutoff is April 2023. That's why it cannot provide an answer. But one really cool feature that Google implemented is actually search grounding. So if we check this out, whether to enable real-time or up-to-date information if supported by the model. And for Gemini 2.0 Flash Experimental, it's actually supported. So I asked the same question again. And this time, when Google is making the API call, it's actually using Google Search to basically search for keywords. And now we can see we get actually real-time events. So I find this super cool and useful because now I don't need to attach new SERP tools and I get kind of like a perplexity feature, which I think is super useful, super important. And again, it's a very specific Google feature that is built in by Vercel AI SDK, and that made it so easy for me to expose. Next, we also have some safety settings around like hate speech, dangerous content, and so on. Again, like a really cool Vercel AI SDK feature that they integrated that I just extended via this UI. So now that we kind of got the main features, I want to show the next one, which is really, really exciting. And this is multimodal capabilities. And this was really, really the core reason why I built it. If we recap the basic LLM chain, what it allows you to do is pass an image binary data. But beyond that, not really, right? Because again, it's kind of difficult to build an API around all the models. And Google Gemini has such specific multimodal capabilities, such as audio, video, PDF, and image, that it's kind of hard to make this work with all the models. So again, that's why I think Vercel SDK did a good choice by, you know, building like a different provider for each. And the first easy example I want to show you is that for my website here, I have this photo in the header image, just a profile photo. And the first thing I want to show you is this time the generate object function. So creating structured output. I just pasted in my URL, gave a small schema of like, give me the hair color, eye color, and the sex, male or female. And then all I need to hit is test step. And you can see correctly my eye color brown, hair color brown, sex male. So very first cool example, but not too special, right? Because this is something you could already do with the existing basic LLM chain. So let's move to something more advanced, which is audio. So basically what I did here is I just built a simple form. Let's copy the URL, test the step. Now I'm prompted to upload my audio of the video, which you might not see since it's a special pop-up window. But yeah, once this is uploaded, let's continue. All right, the upload just finished, so we can see the file here. And just as a small explanation, I made this really cool chatbot, with the Telegram and agent framework that you can use to schedule things. So let's see. In the next step, what I have to simply do is basically tell it, use this binary audio file, put it in here. And then what I did is just ask it, please summarize the following audio file. And now if I test the step, it will take a couple of seconds for Gemini 2.0 Flash to summarize it. But what's really cool happening now in the background, the Vercel SDK is actually uploading the file, finalizing the URL, and then injecting it again into the Google context for us to generate the output. And now you can see it's already generating, so probably it finished the upload. And in a few seconds, you should hopefully see a summary of how I created this. So let's show the data. And we can see here indeed, the speaker is demonstrating how to use a combination of tools, including n8n, Google Calendar, Audio, and Telegram to create a scheduled system. So very cool. We got audio working. Next, let's try PDF actually. So for this demo, again, I created this test URL. Let me quickly upload in this pop-up window my resume. And once I submitted my resume, we get it here. And now again, all I have to do is specify the binary data, which is PDF. I gave it a small instruction to extract info from my CV. And if we scroll down here, we can see the main items, which is among email, name, phone, location, education, etc. Like a typical maybe HR recruiting case. So once I hit test step, it takes again for a couple of seconds to upload the document, put it into Google Context, and then you can see very cool here, we get education, email, location, name, skills, all in one step. So this is what I'm really excited about. This makes working with PDF files and audio super, super easy. Yeah, so I hope you liked the demo about multimodal. And as a small, one extra thing, I actually implemented this morning also DeepSeek, because DeepSeek has been in the headlines with its super capable R1 model, which is on par with O1, but at a super competitive price. And I know you can already use it with the basic LLM chain. You just have to change the base URL, do a few tweaks, but maybe some people find it a bit confusing or something. So that's why I created, again, just a specialized DeepSeek node. Basically, what you can do is you can choose a model. Before that, obviously, you have to simply plug in your API key. And then I create, for example, this cool example, which is kind of famous, how many R's are in the word strawberry. And because it's a thinking model, right, it uses this kind of chain of thought approach before replying, really thinking about the question. It takes a bit longer to generate, but most of the time you get an even more accurate, better output. We should hopefully see in a few seconds that indeed there's 3 R's in the word strawberry. So let's give it a few more seconds to see what it's still reasoning about. Apparently it's a bit harder task to reason about. So here we go. And actually, let's see, the answer. The word story contains 3 instances of the letter R. Here's the breakdown. Correct. So very cool. Again, we can see the prompt tokens, completion tokens, another small and nice addition. So exactly know how much it costs me. And yeah, this concludes the demo of it. Finally, I think also if you really liked it, I'll show you how to get this node installed on your own machine. So all you have to do is go into settings. We can actually leave this one, then go to the community nodes. And now this is an important call out, because it's hard for n8n to know which packages are secure. They cannot allow you to install just any package on the hosted n8n instance. So that is why this community package only works on the self-hosted ones. So if you want to use my package, you actually need to have a self-hosted one. But maybe down the line, if n8n decides to really like the package, maybe they'll go through my code, they like it, and maybe actually they make it real, kind of also usable n8n package that could be used with the hosted edition. So maybe down the line, everyone can use it. But for now, all you have to do is simply use this name, click on install, edit here, hit the button, and then click install. And then you should have the n8n node package available. I will also provide a link for this YouTube video in the section below. But also, if you have any other questions, comments, thought, ideas, feel free, please, to comment below. And yeah, follow me on LinkedIn to stay updated, or follow my YouTube channel where I post more cool n8n stuff. And now that I actually built my first node, I'm quite excited. There'll be many more nodes to come. Thank you. Bye.